Hello, everybody. Oh, what an honor to be here today. I'm reviewing this Knocking on Heaven's Door, a simple guide to prayer. Now, you might call me biased, but I have to say this book is amazing. But first of all, we're going to meet the author, but we're also going to find out, kind of what the inspiration behind this was. So, I've read so many manuals on prayer, but I have to say this is really good stuff. Now, I know kind of your journey with prayer, but we just need everyone to kind of, understand how you came up with this masterpiece, okay? So first of all, hello.
Hello there.
Are we all relaxed?
I think so.
Well, anyway, so now the way you came into the whole praying thing was actually an incident that happened in your life. Now, I'm cheating because I know about this incident. Incidentally, we're brother and sister, but of course the audience don't know. So there was an incident that happened, and it involved me, and that kind of just like birthed prayer for you. So can you just tell us a little bit about that experience first?
Yes, certainly. My brother obviously hasn't always been this size. So when we were little, he suffered asthma, and he had a really, really bad asthma attack. And during this attack, unfortunately, he actually died before my very eyes. Now, as a child, I mean, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. I mean, my father would just, sort of lost the plot and was on the floor crying. And I suddenly thought, well, the one thing I do remember is that God is almighty. There's nothing that God can't do. So I decided, well, the best thing to do really is to inspire my dad to start praying, because obviously if God can do anything, then we need my brother back. So I said, Dad, stop crying. Come on, let's pray over my brother Michael. So that's what we did, and we prayed. And I remember, as a child, your prayers are so innocent. They're so pure. They're so to the point. So basically I was saying, God, I need you to raise my brother back up from the dead, because from the little stories I remember in the Bible, you can do anything. So Lord, I can't do this. I need your help. I need you to do something, because I need my brother. I can't live without him. So basically we started to pray, and then my father kind of pulled himself together, and, we laid hands on my brother, and, we prayed and prayed, and then eventually he gasped. And, before we knew it, my dad sort of started his medical stuff, and, my brother came back around, and that was really the beginning of a miracle for me, because I suddenly realized if you're in doubt and you're stuck and you really don't know, nobody else can help you, there's somebody up there who's listening, whether you know how to say it right or not. He cares.
That's an amazing story. One of my favorite preachers, Bill Johnson, always says that some of the best miracles are the ones that we stumble into accidentally. So you're trying to tell us that the innocent, unassuming prayer of a child actually just turned around this situation.
Absolutely, because with a child there isn't any pretense. A child doesn't, if you tell a child that the sky is green, it'd probably believe you. All I knew was that somebody told me God was real and that he could do anything, and I thought, well, I need a miracle, because I can't imagine my life without my brother. So I thought, well, we need him back and you can do it, so please.
I'm so impressed because, nowadays we have topics and books on everything, really, ministry and marriage and parenting, everything. But, prayer is really like, it's prayer is the key, guys, and oftentimes it's difficult to know how to pray. Oh, well, we've got distractions, we've got the football match, we've got family, we've got kids, we've got all kinds of stuff. So this book really simplifies. I have to say, it simplifies the whole dynamics of prayer. Tell us a little bit about the book and how, give us a breakdown on what to expect when we read the book.
Well, when I decided to write Knocking on Heaven's Door, I was thinking of a lot of my friends who perhaps have never walked into a church before. But the truth of the matter is, whoever you are, at some point in your life, you pray from your heart, especially if you're in trouble. So I thought, well, it would be really good to do something for people who don't have a background in church, but they really are genuinely wanting to know, how do you talk to the man upstairs? I have no idea. I wanted to sort of pinpoint key strategies that I've found work for me. And I thought, because at the end of the day, the God that I have come to know and love, he is for everybody, whoever you are. It doesn't matter where, what your background is, or where if you're on the street, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, it would be great if there was some sort of manual or some sort of guide as to, depending on what the need is. And I just thought, I'd like to try and help towards, making that happen for people off the street if necessary.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot now, okay? Because that's what I do. I just put people on the spot, right? And I kind of know the answer to what I'm asking, but really, actually, somebody could say to you, but prayer though, it could just be like clever psychology, maybe people just pray because they need to believe there's someone up there, like there's somebody up there. You talk about God as if he really is a real person, but why do you believe that? And for somebody who doesn't know, that there are a whole range, a whole spectrum of different belief systems out there. But from reading your book, I have to say, it's really very inspiring. Why do you personally believe that there is a God and that actually there is a prayer answering God? We need to know that from your own experience.
I believe that it's like with anything else, it's all about relationship. I've found, as I said, I gave you the little story of when I was a little girl and, God, really bringing my brother back. And that was the beginning of my journey, really, because I realized that this God, he's actually a person, and he actually listens, and he actually cares about my life. I think one of the things that we struggle with as people is, is there anybody there? Is anybody interested? Most people are so busy trying to sort out their own stuff, their own problems. And here, this God, revealed himself to me and said, look, if you ever have a problem, don't, try me and see if if I'm real. And, the God that I know, he wanted to get to know me, and he wanted me to get to know him, more to the point. So it's very much an individual relationship, and it's very much, a lot of the stories in there are my own personal stories, to prove that, this isn't all in my head. These are things that really happened. I'm just going to keep it brief, but there's a little incident in there that talks about when I first got married and I couldn't seem to be conceiving, I couldn't have any children. And, the gynecologists were telling me all sorts, that I'd have to have a hysterectomy and this, that, and the other. To cut the long story short, because, obviously you can read it for yourself in the book, I ended up with twin boys, to prove the fact that the God that I serve, he's not just up there somewhere. He really got involved and stuck in my life.
That's amazing, guys. I remember a time, I may not look it, but I'm actually younger than my sister. But, I got married first. I had a child first. And at one point, I actually felt really guilty, when I had my child, because I was like, my sister's not even married yet. And I remember just knocking on her door one day and her opening the door, and there were just tears. It was like she had been crying, and I said to her, sis, are you okay? And she went, no, these aren't like sorrowful tears. These are intercession these are intercession tears. What on earth is that? Because now I've been praying. And I saw, for many of you out there, you're probably wondering about your life's partner, and you're worrying about a job, you're worrying about certain things. I've seen it. I've seen this girl pray her. It's a shame you can't see her husband. He's actually behind the camera. He's the cameraman. He actually looks like James Bond and everything. So she didn't just pray for a guy. She got like a bodybuilder thrown in to the mix. You know what I mean? And like she says, the doctor told her, well, you wouldn't have kids anyway. But she's got twins. So prayer works, guys. Knocking on heaven's door. The details are going to come up in a minute, where you can get yourself a copy and where you can connect with Dee, her blogs, etc. So you may be here and there's something that you just need in your life. Prayer is the key. But the wonderful thing about this book is it doesn't complicate it or give you highfalutin language. It really simplifies a real necessity. Now, Dee, just, any final thoughts that you would like to just leave with our viewers on this amazing book and actually the amazing exercise of prayer?
Just to conclude, really, to say, please don't take my word for it. Get a copy if you possibly can, but start your own prayer journey, because you'd never know. The sky, honestly, It's not the limit when it comes to prayer.
You know what? You've just nicked one of my favorite quotes. I can't remember who said it, but there was a guy who said, "Don't tell me the sky is the limit when there are footprints on the moon." To secure your copy of Knocking on Heaven's Door, a simple guide to prayer, and to find out more, please click on the links in the description below.